Hi, my name is Layla, and I'm the owner and founder of Top Financial Agency. Now, welcome to your orientation. In this video, I'm going to show you around the website, show you where to go about finding the resources that you'll need for your business, and then also give you a little bit of an overview of the structure of our agency. So first, let me start off by telling you a little bit about myself, a little bit about my background, and how I got into this industry. It all started in 2015 when I was dating a guy. I'd been dating him for about maybe a month. And then he says, "Hey, what are you doing on this Tuesday night?" And I'm thinking he's going to ask me out on a date. But instead, he ends up inviting me to his office. It was one of those things. And at first, I'm like, "Why am I going to go to your office? I spend all day working at an office." And he's like, "Because I need a guest and I want to show you what I'm doing." And I'm like, I had no idea what that meant, but I'm like, fine. And then I am going to his office and it's a room full of people. They're all in suits. I don't remember really owning much of a suit back then. So I went to the presentation, the little overview. And I saw, okay, so you're going to help me get a license, a legit license, and you're going to teach me how to make an extra $2,000 a month. Sure, no problem. Let's do it. So I ended up going for it. And he was like, "Really?" And I said, "Yeah." And so I went through the whole process. I got my license and I started going through training. And then I decided that I wanted to do this full time within 6 months. Well, actually, they told us you could either do this full time within 6 months to maybe a year or so. And I said, "You know what? I'm going to do this full time within 6 months." So I made that my goal. So I get recruited in January. August is 6 months. I have it on my vision board, but now it's June, it's July. August is around the corner. And I'm like, I don't really know if I have the guts to fire my boss. But I had no choice because July 31st, I get laid off. How does that work? Crazy, right? Like right before my 6 month. So I get laid off, but since I've had a job my whole life, that's what I was used to. So I go online and I start looking for another job. And my husband, well, he was my boyfriend at the time. He's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, I'm getting a job. And he says, "What do you mean?" He says, "You didn't want to work there forever. You got laid off. You already have a license. We've been training you. Just go make money." And that concept of going to make money was different because my whole life I've been used to you go to work, you clock in, clock out, collect a paycheck. But to have this freedom to really go make as much money as I wanted to make, that was a different mindset that I had. So I said, okay, let's go for it. And so that was in August of 2015, and I've never had a boss since. I've managed to be able to do this full time for the last decade. Fast forward, I end up marrying him in 2017, and then 2019, I end up getting pregnant, and 2020, right before the 2-week lockdown, I give birth to my twin girls. Then fast forward, now it's 2021, February of 2021. We went a company trip to Hawaii. My broker, we took a few of our brokers, my brother-in-law, my mother-in-law, and I took my twins. We all went to Hawaii on this company trip. Well, the last day before we were supposed to come back, we ended up going on a hike. The rest of the company had already left. We decided to stay a little bit longer. And so we ended up going on a hike. We all come back from the hike. But my friend who was with my husband was like, who was with us, one of our brokers, was like, "Man, you really missed the waterfall. You missed your opportunity to go underneath this waterfall." And my husband was like, "Should I go?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's up to you if you want to go." So he decided to go back in with my friend, and they never came back out. A flash flood hit and they both lost their lives, although we didn't know it at the time. So I'm outside in the van with my brother-in-law. My brother-in-law says, "They've been gone a while. Why don't you take the van and go down and get some help?" And we're in the road to Hana and Maui. There's zero reception. So I take the van. We go all the way down. I go all the way down the mountain until I can get service. I call the fire department. They come up, they follow me. Well, my brother-in-law decided to go back down into the hike to see if he could find them. We bring the firemen back up, and just in time for my brother-in-law to be coming back up. And he says, "I didn't find them." Then 4 firemen went back down with my brother-in-law. They all came back up. They said, "We didn't find them." So We had to wait until the first light for them to continue searching, which was like around 6 a.m. the next day. We're back in Lahaina. My brother-in-law and my mother-in-law stayed out in the van the entire night, just on the off chance that the guys would come back up, and they didn't. The next morning, I get a phone call from my brother-in-law that they found my friend, and I said, "Okay, is he alive? Is he good? Is everything okay?" And my brother-in-law says, "He's not alive." And that's when I knew about 80%, the faith that I had that we would find my husband alive completely diminished. So I was the life insurance agent for my friend. He was only 27 years old at the time. I had to make the call to his parents, first of all, that he was missing, then a call just a few hours later to say that they found their son, but unfortunately he was not alive. And that was the very first claim that I opened as a life insurance agent. And it was on a good friend of mine who had just hit his broker promotion in this business. Now we're searching for my husband, and day 3, the Lord spoke to me and told me that he has my husband. So I already had this peace in my heart and spiritually knowing that my husband was with the Lord, that he wasn't, missing underneath a cave or in, some dirt or whatever, people were calling me. They're like, "I had a dream, he's stuck here. I had a dream. He's over here." Psychics were calling us and telling us, "This is where I think he is." And so when the Lord told me that my husband was with him, I had that peace. But then it came to looking for his body. So we searched for about a week and we never found the body. Search and rescue team were like, we've searched high, we've searched low. The fire department did an excellent job. They had the Coast Guard out, helicopters were out. They say you've got to come to a point where you make a decision to stop the search, because chances are he's in the ocean. The ocean is vast. You're probably not going to find him. But because I already knew that he's up with the Lord, and when the second coming comes, we're going to, our bodies are going to be made new. I didn't, wasn't concerned that we didn't find where his physical body was, because I know that he's living with the Lord. So I was fine, and it's true. We're probably not going to find him in the ocean. So call off the entire search, did a memorial, etc. But I remember in there, I got the phone call from my broker, and she says, your husband has life insurance and it's in force. And, this is the amount that he has. And I can tell you, on the one hand, well, it's this, wow, I'm never going to find my husband. How am I going to do everything on my own? My daughters are only 11 and a half months old. How am I going to do everything on my own? But on the other hand, knowing that my husband had life insurance, meaning that I can still continue to pay my rent, pay my bills, continue on with my life, because guess who was still texting me, even though I said, I'm going through all of this? My landlord. Even though my landlord was very considerate and very nice, he still was like, "Hey, I know you're going through all of this, but your rent's due." And I still had to pay rent. I still had to pay all of my bills. Life doesn't stop just because somebody walks out of life. But thank God my husband, had the foresight, and that he was recruited into this industry, and that I was recruited into this industry. And then we learned about life insurance, and we learned about proper financial planning. Like, he put that in place so that when I came home, yes, I had to figure out this new life as a widow. I had to look over all of our finances, but I had a really big head start because of this industry. So, which is why after a lot of prayer, I said, "Lord, do you still want me to come back into this industry, or do you want me to go do something else?" And, I said, "Okay, if you want me to come back into this industry, then give me a new name for my organization to move forward." And he gave me the name Top Financial Agency. I didn't come up with this name. He gave me the name Top Financial Agency. He guided me into rebuilding it, revamping it. I just revamped the website. We separated it now to tfaagents.com. Just finished doing that. And let me just tell you, fast forward, I ended up buying a brand new house built from scratch. That's something else that I had on my little board on my phone. I had new house. And I was able to get a brand new house. If you hear my girls, they're playing in their playroom. I'm here in my office. We've got amazing amenities. I love where I live. I just feel like God's hand has been on me this entire time. But I also see I see that God has blessed my family and me through life insurance. So I just want to say that I think that you've made a really great decision to be in this industry. I think a lot of people really need to know how important life insurance is because we never know when we're going to pass away. My friend was only 27. My husband was 31 years old. If you're older than both of them, if then you already know that at any moment we could pass away. And there's so many things about life insurance. There's so many different types of companies out there. There's some companies that only promote term. Everybody gets term, but not everybody dies within 30 years of their policy, meaning that we are leaving a lot of people uninsured at the time of death. But the product is called life insurance. The product isn't called temporary insurance. It's life insurance. Not everybody's life ends within 10, 20, or 30 years. So you're going to learn about different types of products and different types of strategies as you go along. So that is what I'm going to show you. Okay, welcome to your new agent orientation. This is probably one of the most important appointments of your career. And the point is to talk to you about your promotions, the training program, and to talk to you about possibly putting a plan in place to help you reach your financial goals and some of your personal goals. So, first, I want you to take some time and start with figuring out what your goals are and categorize them into three different types of goals, which is your personal goal. This could be like a car, a shopping spree, or maybe some type of a vacation or a trip. What's your emotional goal? So, this could be something maybe that you want to do for your parents or your kids, something that is going to make you emotional if you were to get it accomplished. And finally, what's your financial goal? So if you're trying to, let's say, quit your job, how much do you need to earn monthly in order to do so? And it's really recommended that you have at least maybe 6 to 8 months, if not maybe even a year of savings before you quit your job. I personally was able to run this business full time within 6 months. So I want you to hit the pause button as you write all of this out for yourself and really think hard and really get detailed. So, for example, if you want a car, what kind of car? What color is it? What is the price range? Have you shopped around? How much is your down payment going to be? Like, really make this a tangible goal that you're actually going to reach. And the more tangible you make it, the easier it is for you to reach it. Okay. So, go ahead and hit pause and take some time to do this. And then let's continue when you're done. Now let's talk about your promotion. So there's other types of companies out there, maybe like WFG, PHP, Primerica, different types of companies where you need to hit recruiting numbers as well as production in order to make more money. And that's all a promotion is. It's just getting you to a higher contract. So if you start at a 50% contract, in order to get to your 60% contract, you've got to produce 10,000 personal points within your first 30 days, or 25,000 points within the first 90 days, or 35,000 points within the first year. So there's a lot of flexibility. And just to give you some context, I started at a 30% contract. In order for us to get to a 50% contract, we needed to recruit 10 people, right? 10,000 points and do this all within our first 30 days. If we miss that, we had to start all over again. In order for us to get to our 60% contract, we needed to recruit 25. It was 25, 25, 25. That was 25 recruits, 25,000 points. And we had to do that also in 30 days, I think we were given. If we missed that, then we had to start all over again. In order to get to a 70% contract, we needed to recruit 100 people. This was 3 months and write 100,000 points. Now here to get to a 70% contract, you just got to do 15,000 points. So it's a lot more flexible. It's easier. And all you have to do is get better at production, or not necessarily get better, but you just have to produce. And that is what your promotion is based on. And then I'll go into calculating eventually how you get paid. So let's say a client gets a policy for $300 a month, and let's say the target premium is about $3,300, and you're going to learn how to figure all of this out.
If you're at a 60% contract, your commission is going to be $2,160. You're going to get paid 9 months in advance. You're going to get 1944, and the rest is going to get paid out months 10, 11, and 12. And this is really to protect us from chargebacks. And you are responsible for your own chargebacks, meaning that if you insure somebody and they end up canceling within the first year, they're going to deduct that commission back. They're going to take those commissions back. So you really want to make sure that you're insuring people for what they expect to keep for the rest of their life. Okay. There's different ways to build your business. I have a video. You can watch this video in your back office, and you could really build your business by doing seminars, going to networking events, prospecting your warm market. You can set up booths, social media marketing, partnerships with other professionals, like partner up with a CPA or a loan officer or a real estate agent. These are people that do the same thing that you do, but are not in direct competition with you. So you can watch that video in your back office. It's called How to Build Your Business. Now, if you haven't done so already, also in your back office, there is a questionnaire. You should have also received it in one of the initial emails that went out. This questionnaire is just really to sort of give us an idea of the different ways that you are open to building your business so that we could coach you depending on what you would like to do. Now, even though your promotions are not based on how many people you recruit, I'm going to talk to you about one of the coolest things that I think we have in our industry that's different from any other industry, and that is our ability to build a team. Now, the reason that I think it's an awesome thing for you to do it is because you get an override. So just imagine building an organization where not only did you help all of your agents make their financial goals or emotional goals or personal goals, maybe you've helped a lot of people quit their jobs and now they're working for themselves. So the insurance company is going to pay you and your agent. So if your agent goes and insures a family, they're going to get paid a commission, but you're going to get paid a commission because you trained them. So that also allows you to build yourself a business where money is being made, whether you directly help the client or not. That's something that doesn't happen if you're a hairstylist. That's something that doesn't happen if you're a real estate agent. This is something that doesn't happen with most other service jobs where you get paid for a service. But if you build yourself a business and if you build yourself an organization, now you could be out with your family and then you could be making money. But same thing with your agents. If your agents decide to also build an agency, then the same thing is going to happen for them. All we're doing is creating a bunch of business owners and entrepreneurs. So if you're in the car business, how are you going to sell more cars? Doing it alone or having a team of sales reps? Of course, having a team. In real estate, you have the real estate agent and then you have the broker who gets a percentage of all of the sales. The real estate agent has to keep selling a house in order to make money, but the broker can maintain a lifestyle because he's built himself a team of agents. A hairstyle could only take so many appointments a day, but the woman or the man that owns the salon can have the whole team of hairstylists and then be able to leave the salon as the stylists continue to make money. So in our business, unlike real estate, we don't need any additional licenses in order to become a broker and start building a team. You can become a broker and have a team of agents who are helping out clients all over the country. A door-to-door life insurance salesperson is going to get burned out eventually, but if you build a team, you're going to give yourself freedom. You'll have freedom of time, unlimited income potential, and you'll be able to help out more families than you can do alone. And of course, if you teach the skill to them, then this is going to bless your agents as well. So let's talk about our training program. We train you on business, marketing, and sales, both in person and on Zoom, depending on where you're living. Mondays from at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Zoom or in Chino Hill's office. Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. on Zoom or also in the office. And the training link is going to be on School. And one of the first emails that you received gives you the link of School if you haven't gone there already. Always have a notebook and be prepared to take notes because also think about it like this, you're going to be training your team with what you learn. But that's not the only way that you're going to be trained. You have a classroom training, which that is what that is, but then we're going to do in-person training one-on-one. So first you're going to shadow your trainer. Just like we would never expect you to work for free, we're not going to ask your trainer to work for free either. So if your client wants a policy, you and your trainer are going to split the commission 50%. Even if you have some experience but need the help of a trainer to sit and speak with the client and help you through the process, we ask that you split the trainer 50%. If the trainer has to meet face to face with a client at any point, that is a 50-50% split. And then once you become trained, then you're going to train somebody else. And if you have to meet face to face with that client, then you're also going to get a 50-50% split with you and the trainee. Now, once you can do the presentations on your own, once you know how to write the illustrations, once you know how to submit it and push the business through, then you're ready to be an independent agent. Then you can begin training others and you get 50% of that sale when you train somebody else. But of course, at this point, now you're getting 100% of the sale when you are selling clients on your own. Okay. I encourage you to start with a top 25. You're going to look for two different types of people. Now, this is the cheapest way for you to build your business. Now, you could go and you could buy leads, you could set up a booth, you can pay for Facebook ads, you could spend money on building your business, or you can do it the old fashioned, the free way. This is the way that I built my business um, s- back in 2015, and it still works, which is two ways. You're going to build your team and you're going to build your client base. You're going to build your team. You're looking for people that are over 25, they're ambitious or dissatisfied with their jobs or business minded, maybe like real estate agents, CPAs, loan officers, brokers, PNC agents, or any other types of agents. Other agents are also life insurance agents. Maybe they're not getting the training that they desire in their agency, or maybe they want to leave a captive organization and start building for themselves. So, those are people that you would want to teach them about this industry so they could get their license. Now, they don't have to do it full time. They might just want to be referral agents. They might just want to refer business to you and then get a split of all of the business that you write. Now, if you're going to build your client base, this is your demographic of who is an ideal client. And it's going to be somebody that's over 25, married couples, or single people with kids, or business owners. Um, this just tends to be the type of person that's looking for life insurance. Seniors, or final expense, and over 25, I mean, that's who you would want to probably target, maybe like 30s or 40s. And think about it like this. If you target, let's say, a 30 or 40-year-old couple, within them, you could insure the children, you could insure their siblings, and you could even insure their parents with final expense. If you target that middle group, you've got the young ones, and then you've got the older people within the family as well. Or if you target seniors with final expense, then you can insure their children, which will probably be in their 40s or 30s or whatever, and then their kids and their grandkids, right? So take some time right now. Again, time for you to pause this video. Go ahead and fill out your top 25. You could get the top 25 in the document section in the building folder. So think about all the couples that you know. Don't forget your former bosses, neighbors, aunts, uncles, parents, siblings, friends, coworkers, hairdresser, gardener, housekeeper, spouse, former neighbors. Think about it like this. If your car broke down, who would you call? Who is your best friend? Who are your aunts and who are your uncles? Okay. Take a little pause, fill this out, and then continue. Now that you have your top 25 ready, we're going to remember this really simple acronym in order to book your appointment, which is you're really excited, you're in training, you need some help, you are asking for their opinion, and in the off chance that they know anybody, they can send you some referrals. It's ETHOR, Ethor, okay? So when you're calling your people, your aunts, your uncles, your brother, your sister, your hairdresser, whoever it is that you're calling, and I'm going to get to that script in a little bit, but this is the easiest way to remember. If you're just like, you make a quick phone call, you're like, oh no, what was the script? All you have to say is, hey, aunt, uncle, I just got started in a training program. I'm really excited about it. And I like your help. Okay. Well, I want to share with you what it is that I'm doing with my trainer, and I'd love to have your opinion. And if you run into somebody that you think might benefit from what I do, I would love for you to give me some referrals. Okay. That's the simplest thing. You're going to look for your script under the scripts folder in the document section. These are all the different scripts. And see the middle one, booking a field training script with your warm market. That's the script that you're going to look for. And this is what it'll sound like. Remember, you're excited, you're in training, you need their help, you value their opinion, and you're hoping for some referrals. So this is what the script will look like. By the way, if you are really action oriented, okay, which I really recommend that you be, because the best way to learn is just on the field and just doing it. You already should have created your goals, your emotional, your financial goal, and your personal goal. Okay, so now you know what you want to go for. Write that down, post it somewhere that you can see it. Then you should have already done your top 25. So then you have a list of 25 people that you want to share this business, that you want to market this business to. The next thing you're going to do is call them and book those appointments so that you can go through your training with your trainer. Okay. Our intention isn't to just sell them a product. Of course, if they want a life insurance product, of course, we're going to show them what will suit them, the best product for them. But this is really primarily for your training. We want to train you. Okay. So you're going to look through that list and then just call your mom or your dad or call your aunt. Think about everything that you're doing right now as far as training. Don't get freaked out about it. You're just asking for some help. If they give you some objections that you can't handle, then you can talk to your trainer to help you through that. But all you want to do is book appointments with people so that you can go through your training process. And this is what that call might sound like. So it's a, "Hi, Mary. How are you?" Make some small chat. "I'm calling you because I just started a new business and I'm really excited. And I'm in the training program and I need your help." Pause for a second. Now they're usually going to ask you how they can help. "So I'd like to set up a 45-minute appointment with you and your spouse and along with my trainer to show you what I'm doing so that I can get your opinion. Then in the future, if you run into anyone who might benefit from what I do, maybe you can send me some referrals. You'll help me out, right?" "Yeah, okay, great. So, what's better for you, today or tomorrow?" "Tomorrow." "Okay, like 5 p.m. or 6 p.m." Notice how we're giving people options, okay? So it's just super simple. You can say in your own words, "Hey, I'm just getting my license, or I just got contracted. I'm in financial services. I need your help. I value your opinion." Okay, so get that script. Now, here's some common objections. Let's say they say, "I don't want to buy anything." You just say, "Listen, you don't have to buy anything that you don't want to. This is just for my training and to teach me how to present to clients what I do." Now, if they say, "I already have life insurance," then you say, "That's even better. That means that you already know the product and can ask questions, which is going to help me learn more." Oops. Okay. Now, next, book an appointment, a financial consultation with either me. You can do it directly through my website, or if you're working with a trainer, book an appointment with your trainer. One of the best ways to learn what we do is to take a look at the products and services as if you are the client. Now, if you already have life insurance, this is a great opportunity for you to figure out if you have the best. Do you have all the living benefits? Do you have the kind of insurance that expires? Is it not going to expire? Maybe there's some gaps in your personal financial plan. While you're at it, get a financial analysis. So that is a link to book an appointment directly through me. You can do it directly on the website, or if you're with a trainer, book an appointment with your trainer and go through the whole process as if you're a client. Now, the last thing is a TFA crash course. Keep up to date on school. Every few months, the financial architects will do a crash course. That's when you're going to learn everything about the life insurance industry, about financial services industry. It's usually a 2 or 3 day course, and you're going to learn everything that you need to really get fully successful. So keep an eye out on school.
Site. So topfinancialagency.com is our new client facing website. But I encourage you to look through this website so that you can just learn the different types of products that we offer. Okay. So this, I'm just scrolling down so you can see these are all the different websites. Okay. This is a financial planner that I have. So if anyone submits their name, they're going to get this blueprint that it sort of allows them to on their own do sort of like a financial analysis. I encourage you to click on life insurance, and then these are the different types of life insurance. You've got term life, mortgage, permanent life insurance, final expense, group life insurance. And then I think there should be group life would be for businesses. And these are different strategies, like tax-free retirement is a Kaizen strategy. It's kind of explaining how you could use life insurance to pull money out income tax-free. And then, but if you just head over to services, then you're going to see some of the difference. So insurance, retirement, tax-free business strategies. This is wills and trusts, debt settlement, life settlement, Medicare. Okay. One really cool thing that we've done here in this website now is you can get instant quotes. So for this, it's California, the birth date, male, non-smoker, preferred plus, 20-year compare. These are some of the different insurance carriers that you are going to be able to offer. So you can get an immediate quote right here. And then if you just do print, and then save as PDF, then you could email this over to your client. Okay. So this is for our clients. If you ever want your client to get a little bit more education on different life insurance products, you can send them here to topfinancialagency.com. Now, as an agent, this is your website, which is tfaagents.com. Okay. So once you have created your account, you're going to log in. And if you are unlicensed right now, you should be going through your licensing course, which is in here, get licensed. Now, and I'm saying this also not only for you, but when you recruit agents, if you do decide to bring other agents into this industry, this is ready for them. Okay. So they go under get license, and it's going to send them an email every single day saying, maybe study chapters 1, 2, 3, then the next day 4, 5, 6, and on. It helps to keep them on track so that they can get their license, as soon as possible. Once they go through the whole process, and once you go through that whole process, then you're going to go to how to get contracted. Okay. So then you're going to start here, and then you're going to go through the whole process of getting contracted. You're eventually going to enroll with the financial architects. Okay. And through the financial architects, it's $49 to get unlimited contracts. Signal Advisors is who we get contracted through, and I'm going to show you that in just a moment. Okay. Okay. And then we go back. Okay. All right. So presentation. So once you're ready to start presenting to let's say someone else that you want to tell about the opportunity about coming on board, or presenting a product to your clients, there's a products presentation PDF and then term versus permanent PDF. Yeah, right here it says it's really great for public speaking events. Like if you're going to go to real estate offices or CPA offices, you can grab those presentations there. Field tools. So this is your client intake form. This is a financial blueprint form. This is a form that the financial architects created. And then if you want to send your client a quote, you can use this as a document, as a template to send them a form. If you want to book a training with me, if you have any questions, you can just click there, and this will link you directly to my calendar. And then you could book an appointment with me through there. Okay. And then now here, there's different ways to get a quote. This I linked you to Signal Advisor. So you could either get a quote through the quoter that we have on Top Financial Agency or directly through here. But I want to send you here. So this, if you go here, this is Signal Advisors. So this is really cool because let's say that you go out on the field and you meet with a husband or a wife, and now they give you their date of birth, their income, some of their health concerns. And you're like, man, I'm not really sure what product suits them best. You head over to Signal Advisors and you go to planning and you click on new plan. Do you want them to help you with an annuity illustration or a life illustration? So let's just say life insurance. You put their information here. When is when is your meeting? That's optional. And then you enter the details. You'll see it's going to ask you, do they want permanent life? Do they want living benefits, and any notes? And then you can say they have a health issue. They have this, that, and then the cool thing is within probably a couple of days, sometimes even the same day, they're going to give you some options. They're going to email you some different illustrations. So let's just say here, this one, ready for review. right there, ready for review. And then I open it up and they give me an illustration example. And then I can call them like, here, they're all right here. You go back and forth and they're helping you get your client approved. And if you're like, well, how do I sell this product? You can call them, Signal Advisors, and they're going to help you. They're going to explain the product to you so that you could easily explain it to your client. Okay. Now, what you track grows. So here, this is optional, but if you'd like, I recommend you keep track of your daily activities. So if you keep track of your daily activities, like how many prospects you got today, how many phone calls you made, how many people you messaged on social media, text, etc., keep track of this, because this is going to help you determine, well, I'm not making the amount of money that I want to be making. Well, have you made enough phone calls? Maybe you're not meeting enough people, or maybe you had enough presentations, but they weren't closing. Let's take a look at why they weren't closing. And it allows you to assess your business. And then you can see the results here. Once you start entering your results, or entering your numbers, you can start seeing the results right there. Okay. Training videos. We have things like what we do. I recommend that you watch this. This is going to go over the differences between an IUL, a whole life term, and a GUL. This is also on YouTube. I've got a lot of videos on YouTube, by the way. I was going to say, remind me to show you, but I'll remind myself. Learn the words of the business. This is really good to just learn how you explain what we do to people. So that video, learn the words of the business. So you'll see a lot of different videos. There's sales videos, prospecting videos, and then there's scripts, documents. So let me show you where that is. So go back to member home, and then we go to TFA documents. Okay, so TFA documents. Field training, again, here there's presentations. A presentations like 3 tax boxes. This is really good to show your clients. A lot of people don't know there's different places that you could put your money: tax now, tax later, and tax never. That's a really cool thing. This is your term versus permanent life insurance presentation. Okay, this explains how indexing works. So just go through here, take your time. I have everything organized as neat as possible. And then I'm always adding or updating for us, okay? Wills and trusts, annuities, everything is there, okay? Let's go back. Okay, this is another cool resource here. Financial products, the IUL explained, IUL in Spanish, if you want to give this to a client. Indexed annuities explained, and these are some of the ones in Spanish. IUL for kids, living benefits. These are just good resources for you to be able to learn the different life insurance products. Okay. Trainings that we have up here. What is it? So you've got to, if you can't see the events, you got to send a request to tfaschedule.com, and then they'll populate there. But what we use is school. Let me see, did I get that right? Yeah. Okay, so we use school, SKOOL. Okay, so this is Manny. He's the one that created the Financial Architects. This is Omar. He's our COOC. My gosh, I forgot his title. He's our number 2 guy. I forgot his title. Sorry, Omar. Forgot his title. So here's a calendar of events. So you see here, we've got our trainings 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and then Tuesday evening at 6:30 p.m. We have our training. You see there's an estate training. There's Q&A. There's all sorts of training available for you. If you go to the classroom, there's scripts classes, living, the trust. To do your own trust, it's this. And then you're going, once you are set up to be able to do trust, you're going to get your own link with your name where you enter people's information. So one step at a time. This is another trust partner that we have. Kaizen. That's another really cool thing that we have. This is for business owners. This is a way to, like I said, in Top Financial Agency website, that's how you create that tax-free retirement. That is the Kaizen. Let me see, where do I have that? The tax-free retirement, I think I put at the very bottom. Let's see, services. And then it was tax-free retirement. Okay. So it's basically this tax-free retirement account is a whole Kaizen process. That is that. Okay. So if you want to learn a little bit more for your knowledge, you're going to take it there. Okay. So to recap, step one, get your license if you haven't done that yet. If you already have your license, number two, it's get contracted. Now, once you finish getting your license and getting contracted, step three is booking your field training appointments. I have scripts for that in the scripts folder on how to book field training appointments. That's the best way to learn, is to learn out on the field. So I can do presentations with you, a few of them, until you learn how to do them on your own. And that's really it. And then the next thing is, I just recommend going back, watching some of those training videos to learn the words of the business and to learn a little bit more about the products. But truthfully, the best way to do this business is to just book appointments, because you're going to learn, I say it's best kind of on the job, like you're learning on the job. And then in the part-time, in the evenings, then you can go watch some of the other videos, but really just jump in, because you're going to have somebody like me that's going to be coaching you, or a trainer that's going to be working with you, coaching you along the way. And you have signal advisors, you have the financial architects. I mean, you have so much support to really help you be successful. Now, in one of those emails that you received, it asks you to fill out a questionnaire. Please fill that out, because it allows us to sort of have an idea of, what your schedule might be like, and how you're willing to build your business, whether it is, setting up a booth somewhere, or, what you have available to. And also it helps to give you some ideas on how to build your business. So congratulations again. I look forward to working with you. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me or the person that introduced you to us. And I wish you a lot of luck. And I know that you're going to be very successful.